Hi everybody and welcome to this video on timelines. In this video, we're having a look at how to subtract amounts in financial maths. Once again, when we are subtracting amounts at different times, we cannot just subtract the values like 4,000 minus 2,500 minus 1,000 like in this example. We have to add the interest and subtract it with the interest it would have accumulated. So let us have a look at some examples. So here we have Bob saves 10,000 Rand at an interest of 10.2% per annum compounded monthly. After 2 years, he draws 1,000 Rand for emergency repairs. How much will he have at the end of 8 years? Okay, so let's illustrate the information on a timeline, as it is a tool that we use to aid us in calculating and organizing the information related to what we need to calculate. So over here, we're going to indicate that he's initially put in 10,000 Rand, so at time 0, we have 10,000 Rand. And then he has withdrawn 1,000 Rand at time 2. So I'm going to put it in curly brackets so that we know that it's a withdrawal, as in he's removing that amount. And the question is, how much will he have at the end of 8 years? What we also note is that the interest rate for the entire time is a monthly interest rate, which is 10.2% per annum. Okay, now that we have our timeline, we can calculate it using the information. So our at time 8, so we're taking all of these values to time 8, that the amount, so let's say his accumulated amount is 10,000. So we're going to take the 10,000 to time 8. So 1 plus 0.102 over 12, since it's a monthly interest rate. 12 times 8. The 10,000 was in for 8 years, so it will accumulate interest for 10 years. Then he withdraws 1,000 Rand, and we have to take out the 1,000 Rand with the interest it would have accumulated. So 0.102 over 12 to the power of 12 times, and the number of years that the 1,000 Rand would have accumulated interest for was 6. So the 1,000 Rand has already accumulated 2 years interest. So we need to remove the 1,000 Rand with the 6 years it would have accumulated. So let us then calculate this. You can then just simply type this into your calculator for the answer. If you want to, you can simplify further before that, but it's not necessary. So typing this into our calculator, we get 10,000 times 1 plus 0.102 over 12, since it's a nominal interest rate, compounded monthly. And then we're going to subtract the 1 to the power of 12 times 8, and then we're going to subtract the 1,000 Rand with the interest it accumulates, and what we get is that it will be worth, he will have 20,697.16 Rand. Okay, so I hope that you have understood this example, and please make sure you have seen how to draw out the timeline to use it. Let us have a look at another example. So Rick opens a savings account. He deposits his bonus of 100,000. 2 years later, he draws 6,000 for medical expenses. 1.5 years later, he draws another 300,000 Rand for emergency car repair. How much will he have after 10 years if he has a rate of 6% per annum compounded quarterly? So the first step, once again, is to represent this information on a timeline, as it helps us to organize the information. Sorry, excuse the time intervals are not that even in this case, but they should be, but it's just an illustration, so it's actually fine. Okay. So he initially has 100,000 at time 0, so we're going to put 100,000, and then 2 years later he draws 6,000 Rand. So again at T2 he draw 6,000 rand. So I'm going to indicate it with brackets. And 1.5 years after that, so at T3.5 year, he withdraws another 3,000 rand. Okay. And then the question is, how much does he have at T10? And the interest rate that he has is 6%, and it's also a nominal interest rate compounded quarterly. So once again, we then put it into a formula. So at time 10, this time, the accumulated amount is 100,000. With the interest, it would have accumulated, so it's 1 plus 0.06 over 4, and it was in for 10 years, so 4 times 10, the quarterly times 10, minus 6,000 rand. So the 6,000 rand also has the same interest rate, 0.6 over 4, and it was in for 8 years. So we have to remove the 8 years of remaining interest. And then finally, we have to subtract the 3,000, and it's 1 plus 0.06 over 4, and it's 4 times, and this year was in for 6.5 years, so we're going to put 6.5. So we're removing it with the interest it would have accumulated. Okay, then our next step is to then just type it all into the calculator. So 100,000 times 1 plus 0.06 over 4 to the power of 4 times 10 minus 6,000 times 1 plus 0.06 over 4 to the power of 4 times 8 for the 8 years. And then finally minus the 3,000 rand times the interest rate over 4 to the power of 4 times 6.5. So if we calculate that, we get at the end of 6 years, it is 167,321.77 cents. Okay, I hope that you have understood this video. Please watch our other videos on financial maths, and thank you for watching. Bye.